Right then, Stuart Watson, a full-strength Ipswich Town team in the first round of the FA Cup was only meant to mean one thing, wasn't it? Passage through to round 2, yet here we are, Saturday evening, and heading to Boundary Park for a replay. Wasn't meant to go like this, was it?
So much has changed at Ipswich Town, but yet so much is still the same, isn't it? Ipswich Town love a home draw here, followed by a replay. We've had it with Preston, Portsmouth, Lincoln over the years. I'm sure there's a few more on that list. It was all looking so good after 8 minutes on the clock, wasn't it? The same team that finished the 4-1, magnificent 4-1 win at Wycombe on Tuesday night started this game. They were so on top in those opening exchanges. They got the lead when Wes Burns diverted in Macaulay Bond's cross/shot, and if anything, it was a bit too comfortable after that, wasn't it?
Did they score too early? Yeah, it was too comfortable. Ipswich had the number of their opposition man to man. I think we could see that within 10 minutes, but 1-0 up. I think everyone in this stadium probably assumed that was job done, and that kind of rubbed off. Mistakes crept in. It was really flat. The atmosphere was flat. Significant drop in attendance, obviously. Errors were creeping in, and eventually, just before half-time, that old story of conceding just before half-time, and that's exactly what Town did today. Didn't deal adequately enough with a long ball, and then a shot is swept in to the side netting, and 1-1, and ultimately that's how it ended. But I'll be honest, at that point, that's not how I was expecting this game to end. I was thinking Paul Cook would get his side in at half-time. He'd be deeply unhappy with how that first half went, and I thought they'd come out with the bit between their teeth and take things up a gear. But yeah, that isn't what happened.
It didn't happen, did it? And ultimately, they needed a really good Christian Walton full stretch penalty save to his right for a pretty mysterious award of a penalty. We think it's for a slight pull in the box. Paul Cook said if those are penalties, you'd end up with dozens in a game. No one in the ground really seemed to know what it was given for at a corner. But Walton to the rescue with a big save, and that ultimately has kept Ipswich Town in the FA Cup. I thought there was a complacency about the performance today, a touch of arrogance perhaps, that they'd gone and won on Tuesday night and just didn't get themselves up for this game. Even in that controlled first 20 minutes, it was all very one-paced and slow. There was no tempo about Ipswich Town's play. And when Oldham fired a couple of warning shots, Ipswich didn't heed that warning and they didn't up their game. The equaliser came, and as you say, that second half was just full of unforced errors. Even people like Sam Morsey, who's meant to be your go-to man, your mentality monster in these moments, he was giving the ball away pretty sloppily, and he wasn't the only one. And it means we've got a pretty unwanted trip up to Oldham now a week on Tuesday, because that game falls in between crunch League One fixtures against Oxford here, and then a trip to Sunderland a few days later.
Yeah, and the loss of a free week as well. Obviously, Wycombe last week, Colchester this coming Tuesday, then Oldham, and then Rotherham after that. They would have had a free week in there, which at this point in the season can be vital to rest some bodies. I'm sure some players will get a rest from that replay. I don't think we'll be seeing that 11 again for that, but it's unwanted, and it's just problematic and so easily avoided. That's the frustrating thing. Paul Cook did everything he could to avoid that scenario. He named a side that really, let's be completely honest, should have won that game. They'll know they should have won that game, and they'll have been told by their manager they should have won the game. But ultimately, it's all combining for a trip to Boundary Park, and another game in the FA Cup without a win.
One win in 20 now in the world-famous competition, and it's another cup game next. We've got Colchester United, another League Two struggler, heading up the A12 for the Papa John's Trophy, a winner-takes-all final group match here. Paul Cook has said, obviously, it's going to be wholesale changes for that one. A lot of players that would have been disappointed not to play today, people like Joe Pigott and Sonny Aluko, and Connor Chaplin came on as well, so there'll be a lot of changes, but that'll be a strong side on Tuesday night. So we'll see you after that one.